Are you missing out on the most life-impacting, important, and meaningful opportunities that you can experience? These are relationships. Now, I struggle with this sometimes because I'm an introvert. I know if you're an extrovert, maybe you think I've got this all dialed, but all of us struggle at times with having good relationships. In my case, I know that I get energized by being alone, by being able to dream and plan and think, study, and sometimes it gets in my way of relationships. Also, I have a busy schedule. I mentioned before, I have 9 kids, 13 grandkids, a demanding job, and also other interests. I'm married. And so my marriage is not another interest. It's important. But you get my point. I have a busy schedule. But if I'm not intentional about what I'm doing, sometimes I do the wrong things and my priorities are off and I don't have time for relationships. I can also find myself wasting time. I maybe scroll too long or I spend time just daydreaming. Whatever it is I'm doing, I'm not spending time building relationships. I've heard about people who spend a lot of time gaming and hours go by. Or this is you too. Sometimes you get a good Netflix series or seasons. You go through 2 or 3 seasons. 3 days later, you realize you've lost a portion of your life you'll never get back. So we can get distracted easily. Building healthy friendships takes time and intention, and we want balanced friendships. We want a friendship where there's overall an equal amount of giving and receiving. We talk about this in our book, Intentional Relationships for Singles. So you guys, we got to know this. We're designed for relationships. As a pastor, I understand this well. My entire focus of ministry is relationships. But it's not just church where relationships are important. I was in sales for many years, and I learned that people don't buy from people that they don't trust. I had to build relationships and build trust in relationships. I was also in the manufacturing world for a number of years where we had machines, but people operated those machines, and those required relationships. If you think about the first mention of people in the Bible, there's really only 2 responsibilities they had. One was to work, and the second was to have relationships. In fact, it was God himself who said, "It's not good for man to be alone. I will make a suitable helper for him." And the word God uses for help there is the same word he uses about himself when he talks about how he helps us. He was talking about somebody who's important in our life, relationships. And so we have to have healthy relationships if we want to grow and thrive. So I want to talk about 3 things today we can do to hopefully help us in our relationships. There's more than this for sure, but here's a great starting point for us. Number 1, pursue healthy relationships. And you might ask yourself, who's a healthy relationships? Or if you're dating, who is a good dating relationship? Who's good friend material? Ask yourself these questions as you get to know someone. Number 1, who inspires you? You may already have these people in your life. People who inspire me are people who are doing something new. Maybe they are going to school for the first time, or they're starting a hobby and immersing themselves in it. Or maybe somebody who takes a lot of risks, and I go, I wish I could do that same thing. It's important to have people who inspire you. Here's another one. Who makes you a better version of yourself? Who, when you're around, you just seem to be maybe more on the right track. You're not doing things that are leading to maybe bad habits, but leading to you becoming a better version of yourself. How about this? Who stretches you? Who makes you take the kinds of risks that are leading you to maybe growing in your faith or growing in areas of your life where it's making you a better you? Who are you pouring into? Now, this is an important question because sometimes we think about what we get, but who, when we're around, I'm able to impact their life? Who's a better version of themselves when you're around them? These are healthy relationships. These bring healing and growth. But like anything else in our lives, good relationships don't just happen, they're developed. So think about that. Secondly, schedule time with people. Be proactive. Don't just say, hey, you know what, we should get together sometime. Sometime never comes. I'm famous for this. I hate it when I do this. So now I get out my calendar, I get out my smartphone, I have them get out theirs, and we put something on the calendar. That makes it official. And then, you know what? Give them a reminder the day before, telling them that you're looking forward to your meeting, your lunch, your coffee. There's a multiplying effect of how valuable someone sees themselves when we not only take the time to meet with them, but also that they're on our minds and we're thinking about them in a positive way. Now, if you're saying right now, I'm not sure if I invited someone to coffee, they'd even go out with me. I might have to put myself in a position to meet people in group settings. I remember after my divorce, I was starting over and I had lost friends. Even my married friends were busy on weekends. And I heard about a group playing volleyball. So I was invited and I went and I played volleyball with them. And I really enjoyed my time. And I began to build a new network of friends and a new community that dramatically impacted my life. And then within that, I was able to begin to see new people that were great, that did those things in my life that made me a better version of myself or that I could pour into. And as I did that, I put time in the calendar and became friends with them and grew. And it was one of the most transformational times in my life. And the third thing we can do to really have great relationships is surprise somebody with affirmation. You know, we all struggle with things. We go through life and have things happen to us that kind of tear us down. And we tend to be people that focus more on negative than positive. Now, so I think we all have periods of time where we don't feel competent. We're facing something new in our life. We can be discouraged. Relationship struggles are a constant challenge throughout our lives. And we need people in our lives that affirm us and encourage us. So just think about somebody. Think about what you like about them and let them know. Send them a text, a quality you're thinking of. Maybe you say, I love the way you're kind to everyone around you. And I'm so glad that you're one of my friends. Or I notice how much effort you give to everything you do and you do things with excellence. It's a great quality. Studies have shown that we need a balance of 5 affirmations for every negative thought we may have about ourselves. We weigh negative experiences so much heavier than positive experiences, and we believe things about ourselves more negatively than positively. Be the friend who notices something good about your friend and let them know. It will make their day. I hope you can find someone to connect with this week and really encourage. If you do, or if you send someone that affirmation, I'd love to hear about their response in the comment section below. Thanks again for stopping by, and I look forward to seeing you next week. May all your relationships be intentional and thrive.